It's another edition of The Manual. It's the Professor Woods. I'm Chip Wrights here, and our opening segment, Man, Did You See? So, man, did you see? What I saw today was kind of cool. Alton is on the board of a charter school here in the area that we're in, and they've been really working hard, had a new building built after years of having to rent out another place, and got everything in place, and now we have like jobs and other stuff.
That's right.
Before I was pastoring full time, I was bivocational.
That's right.
So
That's
all
right.
of the stuff that we do in the midst of everything else. So they've just done a phenomenal job here. And little to his surprise, that they know that they named one of the buildings a gymnasium after him. So I was like, that's pretty cool there.
Man.
That's like major cool.
It's still sinking in because I guess it's only a couple of hours old right now for me. I don't know that I ever imagined that.
Yeah.
When I devote my time and energy to something, it's because I'm passionate about it and I love it, and it's not because of something that I think might come back to me. So the idea of my name being on the building didn't even cross my mind.
Right.
It just didn't cross my mind. And so it's crazy though, man.
That's super cool. Cool. So,
and I guess, one of the things I need to check in with, as I'm saying it out loud, is with Aiden, my son. Because now he's going to come to school every day and see his dad's name on the building. And what does that mean to him?
Yeah, wow. We might have to throw that. We might have to do an interview with Aiden, throw that in the show somewhere.
I think so.
So we're going to talk about legacy today. This is The Manual. So it's The Manual, our weekly podcast that we do, giving the playbook on manhood for all the men out there, and even for the ladies to learn something about men.
Yeah.
Be cool for you. Want you to like and subscribe on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I always forget something.
YouTube,
man.
Comment, share, like, subscribe, whatever it is.
Absolutely. We want to interact with you to get some of your insight. You can tell us if there's some things that you want us to talk about. We can do that too.
That's right.
So today we're talking about legacy and how important it is. You and I have the benefit of having grown up with our fathers in the house.
That's
right. We had two-parent families, mother, father. You had a sibling, you had a brother. I had three sisters and a brother. And so there's sometimes you don't even know that you have something until you talk to somebody who doesn't have it.
That's right.
And so you start to understand how important legacy is and what men need to do for their children, for their wives, for those they are connected with, to make sure that they leave something on record that establishes them moving forward.
That's right.
I was thinking to myself, there's a scripture that says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. I struggled with that for a little while because, all right, so some of y'all grew up rich. I ain't grow up
Not
rich.
I.
Yeah, we didn't grow up, but my parents did the best that they could with what they had. They did some amazing things, stuff that I look back now and I'm like, man, how did y'all do that? But as I started maturing, when I started thinking about getting married, and then having my daughter and son, I was like, well, what inheritance? What am I going to leave for them? What can I leave for them? The first thing I think you need to be able to leave for your children is your name.
Is your name. That's right.
Your name. I mean, how important is your name?
That's right. That's right.
The name is super important.
It is. Because it's your brand.
Yeah.
Right? It's your legacy, it's your brand, it's your culture, it's who you are. And I say it that way because it's interesting. I was having a conversation with someone, a coach, a youth football coach yesterday. And if I can tie a couple of things together, a good name sometimes leaves you at a disadvantage in the process.
Okay.
And here's what I mean by that,
Okay.
right? We live in a world that sometimes celebrates and often rewards the wrong things.
Right. Now
Right?
that's true. Very
So,
true.
so if you think about it, when we say a name, we're talking about integrity. We're talking about character.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about honesty. We're talking about responsibility and accountability. If we can be honest, sometimes it's a lot more money to be made on the opposite end of that spectrum.
It really
It's a
is.
lot more you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
acquire on the other end of that
Yeah,
spectrum.
you can get a lot of money doing
That's right.
dirt.
Right. So great example is the football program that I run. Right. I run it above board. I'm not going out to parents trying to lie to them and tell them what they want to hear to recruit their kids just because it's going to make my team better.
Right.
Right. Would I take the kid? Absolutely. But you gonna get me and an authentic version of me, not the pipe dream that we sell.
Right.
Right. And so I think that leaving a good inheritance, aka a name, is one thing. How do you establish that right name in order to leave it is an interesting scenario, because sometimes you don't get a physical reward for establishing a good name.
Exactly. Not initially.
You're not initially, right?
You know, in my day, you know, it was like your name was important. That's one of those rices. You know, they might say that's one of those woods.
That's
you
right.
know, people's names were important because who our parents are in the community.
That's right.
Meant something to somebody. I can only imagine how some kids, especially some young men now, that unless they are producing something significant, they have fathers who never invested in them, and so they don't care anything about their father's name.
That's right.
Man, that's tough there.
That's right.
So your name is huge. Your name is all you have. Your name is your credit report.
It is your credit report.
It's your name. So they're looking at it and say, what kind of name do you have? So I think that one way we need to establish ourselves is our name, especially with our children. And we may have to go back and do some back work, because my name wasn't really good with my daughter that I had outside of our marriage, you know, before I got married. But I had to reestablish my name to her for who I am and who I'm supposed to be. And I think she's pleased with my name now. I think she'll take it.
That's good. That's good. I'm sure she will. But you bring up an interesting point. So you say reestablish, right? And so now, because you know, part of my identity growing up was I was Lil Al. My daddy was Big Al.
Okay.
That was just so I was Lil Al, meaning Big Al's son.
Right.
Was part of my identity.
Right.
Right. And so one, if your identity to some degree hasn't already been shaped by the name of your father, now you have to establish one, maybe without the benefit of what has already been passed along.
Right.
So there were certain things. My dad, I tell anybody that wants to hear it, my father was one of the smartest men I ever knew. Right. And I'm not talking formal education, but I'm talking about somebody who could do anything, right, and everything. And he worked hard.
Okay.
Right. And so there are a couple of things that in that name transfers to me. Right. So I pride myself on being able to learn how to do anything you put in front of me, and I'm going to work real hard at it. Right. And so if I didn't have that, now I might have to think, what name, what do I want my name to evoke? And how do I establish that?
Right.
Right. And then the other side to it is, we giving great stories about our father, but we could have had a bad father that gave us a bad name.
Right.
Which means we don't establish, we got to reestablish.
Right.
Back to your
Or
point.
we following a bad legacy. You know, your father was promiscuous, was out there doing whatever it is, and it's what you saw doing. So now I'm following after the wrong legacy.
Correct.
It is a legacy. It's just the wrong one.
That's right.
Wow.
Right. So you can establish a name, reestablish a name, or carry on a name.
Yeah.
One of those three.
Right. Okay. I'll agree with that.
One of those three. So how does let's deal with what statistically tends to be the most common situation, and that is father's not around, or not doing whatever it is that we think a father should do. And so now as a young man, I have to establish my name.
Right.
How do I do that?
I think that I ask myself the three questions of life. which is who am I, why am I here, and what does it matter in the end?
Mm-hmm.
Now, those three questions were given to me by Bishop Otis Lockett Sr. many moons ago, and it's stuck, because if I don't know who I am, if I've not, had a conversation or even thought about who am I, because who I am has to be bigger than what I do.
That's right.
I have to know who I am and be okay with who I am. I'm a man. I'm a young man. I am successful. I'm a thinker. You have to establish yourself who you are, your own identity, and then why am I here, which speaks to purpose. What am I supposed to do while I'm here? So when you're establishing legacy, you have to say, okay, what am I here for? It can't be, just willy-nilly, just whatever. You have to say, okay, what am I here for? I believe that there are people, that everybody who was ever born is born with purpose.
That's right.
And it doesn't have to be something that shatters the world, but you have a purpose. And so the third question being, what is going to matter in the end, which is what we're talking about, the legacy piece of it. So I think you have to know who you are. You can't let the street establish who you are.
That's right.
Because the street will give us some names too.
That's right.
They'll ice this or cue that or ski this or
That's right.
or love this or baby this. They'll give us names, and we'll let the streets define who we are,
right,
and never have our own
right,
legacy. So you gotta know who you are.
Right.
You gotta know who you are.
So a couple of things. One of which I started thinking about it at the beginning of what you were saying, and then you just said something right now, so I'll work backwards. As a grown man, we shouldn't be okay with our name being called baby. The baby, little baby. I mean, think about what that communicates. And is it any wonder that along with a name comes certain attributes and behaviors?
Yeah, if we're not careful, we'll get stuck in a mode of life that we were never supposed to be.
Supposed to be stuck in, right? And sometimes when we refer to ourselves as things, we prophetically speak over our own lives.
And so, and I get it. We got little pet names and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get it. It's the rap game in my example, and I'm not as much word about that. But it's an example.
I have a cousin that they call Baby Shelly. He a grown man. They keep calling him Baby Shelly, but they do that in honor of his father. So his father was Shelly, so they called him Baby Shelly.
Little Al, Big Al.
Right. So there's a context that you can have the names in where it's like, okay, I understand what that is, but what's happened in a lot of cases is we've named ourselves stuff to take away our sense of real responsibility.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Of who we're supposed to be.
Yes, indeed. That was just an ad lib that popped in my head. But let's go back a little bit. You said who I am has to be bigger than what I do. Right. I think there's gold in that statement. Right. Because so many of us define ourselves based on what we do. And the moment that we can no longer do it, we lose definition. Right. It's the reason why some preachers never leave the pulpit, because they define themselves by what they do. And if I can't preach, I'm no longer of value. Right, as opposed to who I am.
And then I stay in something longer than I should, not giving the next generation an opportunity to be successful in that area. And I'm penalizing people because I'm not at my best.
That's right.
At that particular point in life.
That's right. If everybody's not Tom Brady, so the same happens in athletes. A lot of people stay longer than they should because they value what they do more than who they are.
Right. This is how I made my name.
That's right.
You never understood that you were always somebody, regardless of what you accomplished.
And will always be somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. There are people that I have to be careful sometimes when I'm buying certain things to make sure that, okay, am I doing this because this is quality, because I like it, or is it the name that's
That's right. That's right.
It's some people that's like, I'm only gonna have a certain sneaker. I don't know if we should say a certain brand of sneaker, but
maybe not.
I mean, we
think
might
we
get
all
a sponsorship.
I think we all know which one you're talking about, though.
Right? It's like, then you put so much value in that. It's like, but you're somebody. If you never put that brand of sneakers on, then you still somebody.
You still somebody. Right.
Wow.
Used to, and let's take it a step further. When you define yourself by the brand so much that even when it's not attractive, you want it just because it has the name.
Just because it has.
Because if we can be honest, whoever your favorite designer is, they've made something that's ugly to you. To you.
They have. I looked in my at some stuff I had hanging up, and I was like, why did I buy this?
I bought it just because that emblem
because
or
the
that
name- the
logo
name
or
was
that
on-
whatever.
Because I'm going to end up giving it to somebody anyway. Like, why did I buy this? Because in the moment you get caught up in the name, and so the name will keep you from really seeing if I really do want this.
That's right. That's right.
Man.
And here's let's think about it. Let's take it a step further. Remember, we were in Vegas and we were in the mall. We went in the store to remain nameless. A very expensive store, right? And we're sitting here saying, you can spend $400 on this shirt, and there's nothing on this shirt that would tell anybody what type of shirt this is.
Nobody would know.
But so when you buy that shirt, in my mind, unless you're gonna walk around telling everybody what it is, if you buy it and never advertise it, you're fundamentally saying the quality of this is worth it to me, because we will never know that that's a $400
We'll never know who the designer is.
Never know.
Anything. You a lot of times they have people that do the red carpet things and everything else, but they have to tell us who the designer is. We don't know who it is, you know. But we will tell you whether or not it looks good.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Wow.
And so your statement that kind of spun me off in this is, who I am has to be bigger than what I do. And I think I said it and I'm coming back to it, but I think there's an important message there, right? And I'm trying to unpack in my head how to articulate that to a young man who's struggling with maybe feeling inadequate in who they are. Maybe they don't have an established name that's been given to them, or they don't have a name that they're proud of that's been given to them. And how do they reconcile that? How do they get to the point where they are more comfortable with establishing the right name as opposed to getting credit for things that they do?
For accomplishments.
For accomplishments, yeah.
Yeah.
Accomplishments are important.
They are.
But at the end of the day, the name
The name is
and
most,
who you are.
yeah,
The
who
name
you are.
reflects who you are.
So if we look at eternity, if we look at setting for the eternity, there all but two people that have ever lived, based on what I believe about biblical history, have walked out. Two people walked out of this life. Everybody else has lived and died, Jesus included. He lived, died, lived. It's kind of cool there. But so we know that that everybody's going to live and die. And so, but at the judgment, it says that, okay, whoever's name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. And so your name is your decisions. Your name is your character. Your name is your integrity. That's what you have to establish. Can somebody give me something to do and I tell them I'm going to do it and I accomplish it? Can, when somebody asks me about something that's going on, will I tell them the truth? Will I be honest about who it is? That's how you establish who you are.
That's right.
Above anything else that you do, because there's a lot of people who are gifted and talented, but their character is terrible.
That's right.
It's
That's
horrible.
right. That's right. You actually made me think about something that I think is a great illustration, at least for me in my mind. Back to football. We had a scenario where a coach, I was going to say acted out of character, but maybe not. Maybe he was acting within character, right? But he certainly was acting inappropriately. And a couple of my parents came to me to talk to me about it. And as they were saying, well, Coach so-and-so was doing X, Y, and Z. The tagline there quickly became, Coach Woods would never. So to my football parents, there's a who I am that they know.
Is not going to participate in that.
I don't hang with them. I don't talk to them on the phone. We don't text. We don't do any of those things. So it's not like we're spending intimate time together. But there's a piece of me, a part of my identity that they understand, and they can compare it to something else. And without any more information, they can say, Coach Woods would never. Right? And that's what a name will do. Right? Is that Chip Rice would never.
So here's what we're gonna tell the younger guys. Well, probably even some of us that are older too. Here's what we're gonna tell them: can your name stand up to a lie? that if somebody says a certain thing about you, the person who knows you will be like, that don't sound right. That doesn't sound like who he is.
That's right.
Can your character stand up to somebody's lie or somebody's misinformation as far as you're concerned? That at least they'll go investigate it and ask, okay, did this happen? This is what I'm saying. Right. So then you can say, okay, well this and
That's
this
right.
happened.
That's right.
So you're building up the brand because we have certain brands that we gravitate to that just okay because I trust in who you are and you've been consistent in this area.
That's right.
Establishing your name is not always exciting and thrilling.
No.
It's
not always rewarding.
Yeah, not. It's a lot of times no immediate gratification.
Right. No.
Like you said, it's just you just got to walk this thing out. I had to go back and get my name. My name was terrible for a minute there in several areas of life.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure my name was bad in places I don't even know it was bad in, to be honest with you. Right? But so I guess the question for every man out there is, what do you want your name to be? And are the things you're doing right now positioning it to blossom into that, or is it something you will later have to try to overcome to get there? Like that's the test, right? I mean, and there's a lot of things that are fun and a lot of things that are cool, but when you're 40, is that who you want your name to be? Like there's certain things I just never see, man. I never run into an old drug dealer. Like I don't know, I mean, the retirement plan apparently is not good, It's
not good.
And so while I never run into an old prostitute.
They look bad a lot of times.
Right.
They're
Because
not as old as you think they are.
There's certain things that just don't age well, right? And so is the life you're living today positioning you for the name that you want to have and pass on, right? Are you a father to kids, and are you demonstrating to them who you want them to know, or are you absent or hitting and missing in a way that now you're ensuring that they have to reestablish a name when they get older?
Right. And to take it just a level deeper, man, we're gonna have to jump on this on the next one. Yeah. But are you dealing with the embarrassment behind your not being there? You're not supporting them to where it's easier to just walk away than it is to try to reinsert yourself, because that can be difficult because you have to overcome yourself. You have to say, okay, I'm gonna have to. I'm hoping it's their choice on whether or not they forgive me, and then what do I have to rearrange my life in order to be a part of their lives? I could be dealing with a mother of the child that is so exasperated with who I was before that she don't want anything to do with it. I have to accept that could be a penalty for what I've done. But am I willing to put forth the effort, or have I just said, have I just given up?
That's right. Wow.
So this is good. It's a good legacy conversation, and I hope we'll get to talk about this on our next podcast. Trying to figure out how to put ourselves in a position where our children and our children's children can look at our name and say, okay, that dude was all right.
That's right.
I would even be cool with, what, they made some mistakes, but they got it together. That would be cool too.
There's a bit of a testimony in there.
It is.
Yes,
it absolutely is. So don't give up out there.
Do not
brothers,
give up.
Man, don't give up. This is the manual with the Professor Allison Woods. I'm Chip Rice. Looking forward to being with you on Monday. So make sure you check out the podcast and go jump on social media. Make sure you like, comment, and share. We're looking to hear from you.